Karen ordered Grandpa's flag down, got charged with harassment. The flag had flown for decades, a proud symbol of sacrifice, fluttering above the modest lawn of 82-year-old Walter Hayes. Every morning, the old veteran would wheel himself out to the porch, his trembling hands saluting the stars and stripes. But today, that flag lay in the dirt, and the neighborhood would never be the same. Walter had lived on Maple Street for 50 years, a quiet man whose stories of Vietnam were told only to those who asked. His front yard, adorned with a single flagpole, was his sanctuary. The American flag he raised each day wasn't just fabric, it was a tribute to his fallen brothers, a reminder of the shrapnel still lodged in his leg, and a beacon of pride for the tight-knit community. Neighbors smiled as they passed, kids waved, and even the mailman gave a nod of respect. But not everyone saw it that way. Enter Cassandra Cassie Reed, the new neighbor who moved into the sleek, modern house across the street. Cassie was the kind of woman who demanded attention, her voice sharp, her complaints sharper. She'd been on Maple Street for 3 months, and in that time, she'd filed noise complaints against the ice cream truck, berated the gardener for using a gas-powered mower, and sent passive-aggressive emails to the HOA about unsightly mailboxes. To her, Walter's flag was an eyesore, a gaudy relic that clashed with her vision of a pristine, Instagram-worthy neighborhood. It started subtly. Cassie would stand on her lawn, arms crossed, glaring at the flag as Walter raised it each morning. She muttered about clutter and visual pollution, loud enough for neighbors to overhear. Walter, hard of hearing but sharp of mind, noticed her stares but paid them no mind. "She'll get used to it," he'd say to his daughter, Emily, who visited every Sunday. Emily, a soft-spoken nurse, would laugh it off, but her eyes lingered on Cassie with unease. The tension simmered as spring turned to summer. Cassie's complaints grew louder, her voice carrying across the street. "That flag's too big, it's blocking my view," she'd shout, though her view was of nothing but other houses. She cornered neighbors at the mailbox, demanding they agree the flagpole was tacky. Most shrugged her off, loyal to Walter, but a few nodded politely to avoid her wrath. Cassie took their silence as victory, her confidence swelling. One humid July afternoon, the conflict took a darker turn. Walter, as always, was at his flagpole, struggling with the rope, his hands gnarled by arthritis, fumbled, but he persisted, humming an old army tune. Cassie stormed out of her house, her phone in hand, filming. "This is a safety hazard," she declared, pointing at the flagpole. "It's too close to the sidewalk." Someone could trip. Walter paused, squinting at her. "Ma'am, this pole's been here since '73. Ain't nobody tripped yet?" His calm tone only fueled her fury. Cassie posted the video online, tagging the HOA and the city, captioning it, "Negligent veteran endangers neighborhood with oversized flag." The post spread like wildfire on the local Facebook group. Comments poured in, some defending Walter, others echoing Cassie's outrage. The neighborhood split, whispers turning to arguments at barbecues and book clubs. Walter, unaware of the digital storm, noticed only the cold stares from a few neighbors who'd once waved. Emily caught wind of the post and was livid. She confronted Cassie on her doorstep, her voice shaking but firm. "That flag is my father's heart. He fought for this country. You have no right." Cassie smirked, unfazed. "This isn't about him. It's about property values. That flag's an eyesore, and I'm within my rights to complain." Emily left, tears in her eyes, vowing to protect her father's dignity. The turning point came unexpectedly, not from Emily or Walter, but from a quiet teenager named Jamal, who lived 2 houses down. Jamal, a shy high schooler, had spent months filming a documentary for a school project about veterans in his community. Walter was his star subject, his interviews filled with tales of courage and loss. Jamal saw Cassie's post and, without telling anyone, uploaded a teaser of his documentary to the same Facebook group. The clip showed Walter in his wheelchair, voice cracking as he described raising the flag for his fallen squad mates. "It's all I got left of him," he said, eyes glistening. The video racked up hundreds of likes, shifting the tide. Neighbors who'd stayed silent began commenting, "Shame on you, Cassie. Leave Walter alone." But Cassie doubled down. On a sweltering Saturday, she marched to Walter's yard with a pair of bolt cutters. The neighborhood watched, stunned, as she snipped the flagpole's rope, letting the flag fall to the ground. She didn't stop there. In a fit of rage, she yanked the pole from its base, bending it, and kicked the flag into the dirt. "This is my street now," she shouted, her voice echoing. Walter, on his porch, froze, his face pale. Emily, arriving just in time, screamed, "What have you done? You!" The scene was chaos. Neighbors spilled onto their lawns, phones out, recording. Jamal, ever the filmmaker, captured every second, his lens steady despite his shaking hands. The crumpled flag lay like a wounded soldier, its colors dulled by dust. The birdbath Walter loved, knocked over in Cassie's rampage, lay shattered. Flowers he'd planted with his late wife were trampled, their petals scattered. The destruction was more than physical. It was a desecration of Walter's pride, his history, his home. Emily dialed 911, her voice breaking as she reported vandalism and harassment. Cassie, oblivious to the growing crowd, kept shouting, "This is for the neighborhood's good," but the neighbors weren't with her anymore. Mrs. Lopez, the retired teacher, stepped forward, her voice trembling. "You've gone too far. Cassie, that man's a hero." Others joined in, their voices a chorus of outrage. Cassie's smirk faltered as she realized she was alone. The police arrived, their lights flashing in the fading daylight. They surveyed the scene, the broken pole, the trampled flag, the shattered bird bath. Walter, still in his wheelchair, spoke quietly to an officer, his voice steady but heavy. "That flag's been through worse than her, but it don't deserve this." The officer nodded, his jaw tight, and approached Cassie. She argued, citing HOA rules and property rights, but the officer wasn't swayed. "Ma'am, you're under arrest for vandalism and harassment," he said, cuffing her as neighbors watched in silence. The aftermath was swift and brutal. Cassie's actions made local news. The headline reading, "Woman Destroys Veteran's Flag, Faces Charges." Jamal's documentary clip went viral, shared by veterans groups across the country. The community rallied around Walter, raising funds to replace the flagpole and restore his yard. A new, taller pole was installed, and at the ceremony, Walter raised a fresh flag, his hands steadied by Emily's. Neighbors cheered, tears in their eyes as the stars and stripes caught the breeze. Cassie's life unraveled. The HOA, pressured by the community, fined her heavily for violating conduct rules. Her social media accounts were flooded with criticism. Her post deleted in a futile attempt to save face. Her employer, a local real estate firm, suspended her after clients refused to work with the flag lady. Alone in her pristine house, Cassie watched as for sale signs went up on her lawn. She couldn't afford to stay. The neighborhood, once her battleground, had rejected her. Walter, though scarred, found solace in the community's support. Jamal's documentary won a regional award, and at the screening, Walter received a standing ovation. He spoke briefly, his voice soft but clear. "This flag ain't just mine, it's ours. Don't let nobody tear that down." Emily squeezed his hand, proud and relieved. As the dust settled, Maple Street healed, but the story lingered. Cassie's name became a cautionary tale, whispered at barbecues and book clubs. The flag flew higher, a symbol of resilience, while Cassie's empty house stood as a reminder, actions have consequences, and pride can't be trampled without a cost. What do you think? Did Cassie deserve her downfall? Or was there another way to resolve this? Share your thoughts.